Mrs. Cuc is 86 years old, a petite, frail woman with silver white hair neatly tied behind her neck. Her back is hunched, her steps slow, yet her eyes remain bright, always filled with tenderness whenever she speaks of her children and grandchildren. She lives alone in a small house at the end of a narrow alley on the outskirts. It used to be her and Mr. Can's home, her husband who passed away over a decade ago. Since his passing, she's grown accustomed to loneliness. She has 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. The daughters are married and live far away, occasionally sending gifts and calling to check in. But it was Tan, the youngest son, that she placed her greatest hopes in. Back in the day, Tan was brilliant, won a full scholarship to university, and eventually married a woman in the city. Mrs. Cuc used to proudly tell the neighbors, "My son is very successful. He's a boss in the city, has a big house. I'm old now, I don't want to bother him. As long as he's living well, I'm happy." But reality was far different. Since marrying, Tan rarely came back home. Whenever he did, Mrs. Cuc would get excited, cooking up nice meals, cleaning the house thoroughly. But Tan would only stay briefly, say a few words, then leave in a rush. One day, she overheard a phone call between Tan and his wife. "Your mother just won't die. Keeps getting sick and then recovering. I still haven't figured out the land title situation." Mrs. Cuc's heart clenched. She didn't get angry. She didn't cry. She simply cleaned up the untouched meal, sat silently, and stayed awake the whole night. A few weeks later, Tan returned with some documents. He pretended to be caring. "Mom, you're getting old. Let's sort out the paperwork clearly. You still own this house. Let me co-own it. In case anything happens." Mrs. Cuc looked at her son. What mother doesn't know her child? She understood everything, yet she smiled. "All right, let me think about it." After that, she started writing her will. But not in the way Tan expected. She didn't leave the house to him. Instead, she called a lawyer and arranged to transfer ownership to Han, a 19-year-old neighbor girl who had lost her parents, was attending college, and supported herself by tutoring. Han was the only one who regularly visited, helped her cook, clean, and brought medicine during stormy weather. On the day of the signing, Mrs. Cuc's hands trembled, but her eyes were brighter than ever. "Han, when I pass, keep this house. But if you need, sell it to pay for your studies. I don't need you to repay me. Just live kindly." A month later, Tan returned. He was shocked to find the house locked and Han sweeping the yard. He shouted, "Who are you? Why are you here?" "I'm Han, Mrs. Cuc's neighbor. She transferred the house to me. Here are the papers." Tan couldn't believe his eyes. He rushed back to the city, hired a lawyer, and prepared to sue. But the documents were completely legal. There was even a video of Mrs. Cuc reading the will, with a lawyer and witnesses present. The court dismissed the case. By then, Mrs. Cuc had already moved to a high-end nursing home, paid in advance for 6 months by Han, using part of Mrs. Cuc's savings and her own scholarship. Mrs. Cuc lived peacefully while cared for. Han visited weekly, telling her stories about school and other elderly folks in the home, occasionally bringing friends to sing for them. She often smiled, her eyes radiating calmness. An old mother who lives long must live well, not just live so people wish she were dead. 3 years later, Mrs. Cuc passed away. In her final will, she left a small amount of money, enough for Han to buy a computer, open an online tutoring class, and renovate the house into a free meal kitchen for lonely seniors. On the gate hung an old wooden sign carved with a simple phrase, "Mom's meal, for those who've been forgotten." Tan heard the news and was stunned. He visited the kitchen on a rainy afternoon. Sitting under the old porch, beside a hot meal and a framed photo of his mother, he burst into tears. For the first time in years, he felt small and guilty. "My dear son, being a biological child doesn't guarantee eternal love. Love must be nurtured, like a tree needing water every day. I don't blame you, just feel sorry that you chose money over family. Still, I hope that one day you'll turn back. Because everyone grows old, and one day you'll know what it feels like when someone wishes you were dead. My dear son, being a biological child doesn't guarantee eternal love. Love must be nurtured, like a tree needing water every day. I don't blame you, just feel sorry that you chose money over family. Still, I hope that one day you'll turn back. Because everyone grows old, and one day you'll know what it feels like when someone wishes you were dead."